I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you're thinking forward progress. Come on.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
You want forward progress? You get forward progress. Bernstein, Abaticola talking Bears and NFL. We've been laughing as we've been getting ready here, just looking over the annual head coach's photo. There's a general manager's photo where everybody's wearing sunglasses for some reason, because I guess they all agreed that half the league's GMs would wear sunglasses, but not the coaches. The coaches.
Yeah, we had a hard time looking at the GM photo, trying to find the coaches. We were like, all right, who's that coach? Who is that coach? And then I think we were like 5 minutes into looking at the GM photo going, yeah, this isn't the coach's photo.
Right.
Yeah. So they made it hard to find. Like, where's Andy Reid? Why is Andy Reid gone? I think the only guy missing from the coach's photo is Todd Monken.
And McVay. I think McVay's not there.
McVay's not there either.
Yeah, what does Todd Monken have to do?
He's working with Deshaun Watson because he has a really good chance of being the starting quarterback this year.
Maybe he heard my opinion on yesterday's show and he just avoided it.
Maybe he fired himself.
Maybe it's true. He's already fired himself.
All right, so we have some stuff from Roger Goodell to get into to start. Of course, as he's addressing the media during this week. One thing I want to start with is Roger Goodell talking about the Bears stadium issue.
Okay.
He says they are still playing at Soldier Field. Thank you, Roger. That is correct. Fact-checked and correct.
Got it. Good.
Which has got a lot of great tradition. But as far as advancements in regard to the fan experience, I would say it's not at the top of the list there. So they need to find a solution. And it's really important they come to a resolution on this relatively soon.
I think he's saying the obvious. Yes. And I think he knows they're coming to a conclusion relatively soon. Really, his job at this point is to just support Bears ownership as much as possible in whatever they want. That's why he allowed himself to be walked around by the hand and photographed walking around Hammond. When he is dealing with a stadium situation here, his job is to lend whatever public weight he can to whatever the team wants. And I think the fact that Goodell presented everything so blandly is evidence that the Bears are aware of how things are proceeding with their first choice of remaining in Arlington Heights, and that there was had he come in and made news and said that we're excited about Hammond, Indiana, and started talking about how other teams are playing in places other than the states of their named city. He didn't do any of that. Right. He didn't do any of it, and it leads me to believe he's just letting it play out.
He's letting it play out, and by saying they need to find a solution and a resolution relatively soon, that's the Bears, that's the city, that's Arlington Heights. Get your shit together, get this squared away. And Dan, I will say, it is April 1st, 2026, and still no shovels in the ground.
That's true. Well, somewhere there are, just not any shovels.
Just not for the Bears
ground.
in Arlington
Heights.
Right,
there are cranes in the sky and no shovels in the ground for the Bears in Arlington Heights.
Would you bet that there are shovels currently in the ground somewhere?
Yes, I would.
Would you be confident in saying that?
I would. As soon as the ground is warm enough that there are, in this part of the world, there will be shovels in the ground, yes.
Yeah, there was.
I know everything. I know construction costs are through the roof, but it's not stopping anybody.
Everything's through the roof. It's a very good day today. You want to know why?
Why?
Landscapers.
Mine came yesterday.
They're here today.
Mine came. I have to reseed the front annually because we have so much shade. We cannot grow grass. And a lot of my neighbors have chosen hardscaping or AstroTurf.
Ooh.
And
that's a bad look, the AstroTurf.
Well, it actually looks great from a distance.
Okay.
It looks terrific from a distance.
What in the hardscape? What do they do? Like just rocks and stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of
Okay.
interesting. Rocks and planters and like prairie grasses. There are all sorts of different really cool hardscaping ideas. Some people do like a little mini backyard kind of setup. Maybe they
So you
can put a
can't
fire
do
pit out
grass
there.
in the front yard at all because of your
I
shade.
do it every year. They plant it, it grows, and then as soon as the trees grow in, it's just so shady that grass will not survive.
Yeah, our backyard is tough because of the two animals that live here and piss all over it.
What, the boys or the dogs?
Ooh. It's a good question, Dan.
Well, yeah, wasn't sure you were talking
Never
about
thought of that. Yeah.
Because I will not tolerate any slander of Frank and Izzy on this show. I just won't. I'm not
You are quite the dog lover.
I'm not going to
learning
let
that
you start
about
to
you.
Yes, I don't want to own one, but I love other
wanna
people's
borrow them,
dogs.
yes.
I do. I love other people's dogs.
Yeah, no, it's Frank and Izzy. They've ruined the backyard, and Natalie's done a lot of great work in the backyard, and we just can't keep it. There's nothing you can do. Like unless they go out there after every time they take a leak and like hose it down, or I don't know what to do with it. It's a beautiful backyard. We have a great deck with a great gazebo, and then Frank and Izzy have just
I thought you were
ruined
going to say the Great Gazoo is there.
No, he comes through just on in late summer.
He
Yeah, late summer
comes
only.
drifting by with his giant green helmet and the voice of Harvey Korman. My guy.
Oh, is that Harvey Korman?
Yeah. The
Was it
Great
really?
Gazoo?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sure, of course it is.
Well, I didn't know that.
That's Hedley Lamar. Absolutely.
That's great. That's really good. All right. Roger Goodell also had more to say and talk about regarding the Rooney Rule. And apparently, the Attorney General in Florida, James Uthmeier.
Uthmeier.
Yeah, it's definitely a Terry name.
That's a great Terry name. James Uthmeier.
So apparently he's threatening litigation against the NFL if they don't eliminate the Rooney Rule.
And the Rooney family sort of capitulated already, where a spokesman for the Rooneys, or one of the Rooneys I saw, said, well, times have changed and we have to fit the way things are being legislated. I'll give Goodell credit in that he professed a strong belief and an apparent desire to defend their position.
Yeah, he said that it's not a hiring mandate, which it's not. It's not a hiring mandate. It's an interview process mandate.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't violate any laws. And I know this is just the state of Florida trying to be.
It's grandstanding.
Yes, 100%.
It's
100%. And he's very accurate in saying it's not a hiring mandate. And that should end any conversation right there. It's not a hiring mandate. It is an interview process. From there, you can question the legitimacy of it. We can get into a debate and discuss it if you want, but not now. But it's not a hiring mandate. So I don't see this going anywhere more than just trying to make headlines and make news. Attorney General James Uthmeier.
Well, I'd hope that when Goodell makes his point, it is the fact that it's also proven to be good business. And that's why we do see at so many very healthy American companies that even though they've had to change names of programs, they've had to lay low because all the crusaders for the precious white maleness that apparently is being victimized. Oh no, help me, I'm a white male. Everyone's taking my freedoms. Oh no. That there are companies who are so concerned but they obviously want to keep their diverse hiring practices in place because, again, good business.
Yes.
That's why companies want to do it. They're not trying to prove anything. They're not trying to own the white males or make you feel bad about yourself or the drainage of your precious masculinity and your precious whiteness. They're just trying to run a business that appeals to an ever-changing populace and a country that looks very, very different in a lot of different ways in a lot of different places and should be celebrated for that. And the NFL is no different. So I think the NFL is like, look, all right, whatever you want to put us through rhetorical hoops to define what we do. Colleges are the same way. Okay, you want us to name this and name that and say this, and they'll ride it out for, until November, however long they got to ride out this spasm of stupidity, and then they'll get back to being an aware business that takes care of a variety of people who come from different places and who may not all fit into something that is designed to mirror a 1950s that never existed actually in this country. So good on the NFL. I wish they'd go a little bit harder. And somewhere we're all very, very terrified that white males' masculinity and power is somehow going to be sucked away from them in their endless whining victimhood.
Right, because we'll cap it off here with saying that diversity is a good thing, Dan.
Yeah, it's a good thing generally, and it is proven to be a good thing for business.
All right, NFL owners also have approved 2 significant changes to the league's replay review system. One that is contingent on the NFL using replacement officials this season, and one that will take effect whether or not there is an officiating work stoppage. Yeah, there's something to get into as well, too. Yeah,
sure. I understand what they're doing. This is all negotiating leverage with the officials and basically saying, we agree with you that the other officials that we're going to have to bring in suck and aren't as good as you are. But the replay officials, Kalen Kaler was on when you were on vacation. Yep. Kalen was awesome talking about what they're doing. And what she described is that the replay officials are not governed by, they're not under the auspices of the referees union. They're strict. They're league employees. They're not union employees. And that's what the NFL has. What they're saying is, we agree that whatever scab group we're going to bring in kind of sucks, but we're going to make up for that because we're going to police them better.
Yeah, so the NFL Referees Association, they broke off collective bargaining last week. So May 31st is when that contract expires, the current contract. The league has already begun collecting names of college officials who could serve as replacements during the preseason and possibly the regular season if needed. So the first set of Tuesday's approved changes will create a massive expansion of authority for staffers in the league's officiating command center in New York City, allowing them to consult with the on-field referee on a wide variety of called and uncalled penalties and other administrative procedures.
Uncalled penalties, I like that.
Rich McKay, co-chairman of the NFL's competition committee, said the league would reallocate existing game day employees to ensure appropriate staffing levels to cover each game if a work stoppage activates these rule changes. So remember, that was something we discussed at the end of last season, where there weren't enough people in those late games. Remember, it was that 3:00 window where there weren't enough people to help oversee the officials.
Yeah, they said that the actual central command was swamped.
Yes, it was just
they couldn't
too
deal
busy.
with it. Yep.
So it said that the NFL owners are alarmed about the state of negotiations. Sources said over the weekend that NFL Executive Vice President Jeff Miller said Tuesday that owners are insistent upon a new CBA that provides avenues to improve the state of NFL officiating. That's where we are in the negotiations, Miller said. That's exactly where we're going to stay. According to the verbiage in this rule, staff members in New York could alert a replacement referee if they see clear and obvious evidence of an uncalled foul for roughing the passer, intentional grounding, or an act that would normally lead to disqualification.
Okay.
Those staff members would also be permitted to alert replacement referees that a flag shouldn't have been thrown if there is clear and obvious video evidence that at least one element of the foul called is not present. So how does that work then? They pick the flag up. You alert a referee, a replacement ref on the field and say, hey, that shouldn't have been called. So do you pick the flag up and say, hey, after further review, there is no flag? Okay.
Yeah. Why not?
So then you would alert the official. They would go to an actual official's review and then get word from New York that it's not a foul.
I guess.
Okay.
But my guess is it won't come down to this, that this is all just posturing to drive a deal with the officials. I think it's the last thing the NFL wants is to start a season with this kind of chaos, and that this is end stage negotiation with the NFL very publicly trying to show the officials, oh, we're breaking off talks. We are full on preparing for the likelihood that we will not have you working, and that eventually something will be worked out at the 11th.
And again, and the current agreement expires the end of May, so you have 8 weeks. So fouls eligible for this alert include twisting, pulling, or turning the face mask, roughing the passer, intentional grounding, horse collar tackles, illegal contact, pass interference, and disqualification. In addition, after the 2-minute warning or in overtime, the list of called or uncalled penalties that league staff members could provide referees would expand to include unsportsmanlike conduct based on punching or kicking at an opponent. During kicks, league staff members could also consult on the leverage and leaping rules. Finally, throughout a game, league staff members could assist on discerning whether a foul should be classified as roughing or running into the kicker.
You know what? I'd rather hear what they can't do. It would be so much easier if they just said, we are empowering our centralized officials, and here's what they're not going to be allowed to fix. Otherwise, just let them fix everything. Just get it right. It's like what we're talking about with baseball now, is just find a way to just get it right as quickly as possible.
Yeah, those are the two elements that as a fan of watching football, watching baseball, that's what I want. I want those two things, Dan. Get it right, and get it right as quickly as possible.
I don't think
and that's why I love the ABS thing so far in baseball, because it's so fast.
I know.
It's just, all right, the catcher has challenged the call. Umpire steps out from behind home plate. Call's confirmed or call's overturned. Pitch was a ball, pitch was a strike.
But the best part is they make the
umpire say it
himself.
Yes.
It's like, the call's overturned. I was wrong. Call's confirmed. Damn it.
Give them freedom to swear.
Right.
And yeah.
Right.
God damn it, this call's overturned. Shit.
Having a rough one, folks.
Right.
Sorry.
My bad. My bad on that one, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's me on that one. I don't know. I thought it was a strike. What do I know? Guy's throwing 102 miles an hour. What do you want me to do?
Right. The ump's like, how am I supposed to call that?
Well, you come down here and do that. I think. But really, if we're telling the truth about NFL referees, if you've been to a game and you have stood on the field, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they say, well, he reached his hand in there, but his legs weren't tangled up. Like, it's ridiculous what they have to call. And the more we can have technology get it right and get it right quickly, the better. If, in fact, for a couple of weeks, and maybe the union, the referees union, is like, okay, let them do it. Call their bluff. Let them do it with this procedure. It's going to be a complete clusterfuck, and then we're going to make more money. That could be their position as well. And they say, look, you can't live without us. Now accede to our demands, pay us all this money, bring us in, make us full-time, whatever they're asking for, because it's hard. It's really hard to do.
Hard. And I agree with you in the fact that I think this is just posturing from the league, and this is going to get worked out. It'll be done before the May 31st deadline of the contract expiring. They'll have a new contract in place. I think the NFL knows better than to allow that to happen. I don't think there's egos will stand in the way of what is the correct decision to have the league officials in place with a new agreement before the season starts. I think
it's too important. It's too important.
It's too important, and the NFL knows that. The NFL knows that for sure. All right. Well, one other note before we get into the coach's photo. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw this on Instagram, and this was from the NFL Drop. It says Giants running back Cam Skattebo, your guy, reportedly had a CAT scan done on his brain, which is a good place to have that done, after experiencing lightheaded and foggy symptoms over the past 2 weeks. Okay. According to doctors, Skattebo has had anywhere between 21 and 24 concussions since the start of 2015. Now when they say that, they're not just that's not all concussions. Those aren't all registered concussions. Those are the ones that, he's wobbly, he's down, he might have gone out.
Those are concussions.
I know, but there are more concussions that don't get registered and that happen all the time. The minor ones, the ones where there are no outward physical reaction to it.
Sure.
These are the ones that have been registered. 21 to 24.
And he's the one that's making jokes about CTE?
Yes, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was. That's why I wanted to share that when I came across that. Saw that on Instagram.
Man.
Not good.
Yeah, no. That's not good. And especially as, when we were just talking about Drew Dahlman and the decisions that some of these people make, that everyone's, this guy loves football. He's all about football from a young age. That's all he's ever done. Right. And slamming your head into things on purpose is bad for you. Slamming your head into things by accident is bad for you. All of it is. But
yeah, they're both bad.
Wow.
It's worse to do it on purpose, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so to say 23 that are actually have risen to the level of certain diagnosed concussions.
Correct.
Wow.
No bueno.
And I've only had one for sure, and I've probably had, I don't know, 5 or 6 minimum others that are probably undiagnosed.
I've had one for sure. My freshman year of high school during football, came around the end, going after the quarterback, and the running back got underneath my face mask and got into my chin, and I was out cold on the ground.
Me too. Yeah, mine was from a softball game, and I was out cold.
Yeah, I remember running. I remember seeing him come towards me, and then the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the ground with coaches around me. And of course, this is 1987.
You're okay. You're fine.
Yeah, no. Oh, I was on the sideline for maybe 2 or 3 plays, then back in.
Yeah, good for you. Get your ass back in there.
Yes, yeah.
Right. No, I'm kidding, of course. Wow, that's a big number, but I hope that he listens to his doctors and they may offer him some advice he doesn't want to hear. That may happen.
All right, let's get to this coach's photo because
indeed.
All right, so now if you're listening on a podcast form, I apologize you won't be able to see the photo. So it'd be a good reason maybe for this episode to go to YouTube, check out our Forward Progress channel, and you can see this photo. All right, I'm going to throw this up here for us, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. Oh, man, it's so beautiful. It's like a nice backdrop too. It's like a university.
Yeah, there's a lot of, they like blue.
There is.
The color palette is extremely blue.
Yeah, white, blue. There's a tan, and then there's Andy Reid. I think he has one of Terry's old button-up shirts.
Doesn't he? I don't know, buddy. How are you going? I don't know. We need ice cream. Chili ice cream, buddy.
All right. So you're looking at the photo, Dan. This back row, far right. Who is that giant person in the blue polo with shorts on? He's the of the people we can see visible legs. He's one of 2 people wearing shorts. Who is that guy?
Well, it's not Dan Campbell.
It's not Dan Campbell.
I see Dan Campbell. Is that Vrabel?
It's not Vrabel either.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive it's not Vrabel.
Well, where's Vrabel then? Oh, there's Vrabel. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Vrabel's and
he's sitting next to Sean
pants.
Payton. Yeah,
yes.
Sean Payton is the only guy in the bottom row with shorts.
Right.
And I just wanted to see where they seated. I don't know if it's assigned seats or the photographer just moves everybody around, but Ben Johnson is bottom row, second from right.
Yes.
And then it's 1, 2, 3 people, and then Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, so LaFleur's 4 away. And who's next to Ben Johnson in the black? He didn't get the memo either.
Those guys. Is that Zach Taylor?
I don't believe so.
It's not Zach Taylor?
I don't think it's Zach Taylor.
No, it's just all of these. They're too in shape. This is what's pissing me off about coaches now.
Well, no,
they're too young. They're all too young and handsome.
Because right before you said that, I was going to say, what 2 guys stand out as these 2 don't belong? Number 1 being Terry's shirt.
Yeah.
And number
Andy
2,
Reid.
Mike McCarthy.
Right, because he doesn't look the part.
He looks like he snuck up on the picture. He's on the top row all the way to the left.
He's got a little, top row, 1 in from the left.
Yeah, 1 in from the left. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Mulligan walked into the picture.
What are you doing here, mister?
Oh, my giddy aunt. Right?
And then in the middle in the second row, is that Todd Bowles?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's a husky man.
He is a larger man. I didn't know that.
I didn't think he was that husky.
Because Aaron Glenn is down to the left.
Yeah, he
getting
looks
all
good.
excited about Geno Smith as his quarterback.
Yeah, he looks like he's in shape. D'Amico Ryans looks like he would
My guess,
destroy you.
Aaron Glenn not in this photo next year.
Right, and then they already eliminated Todd Monken.
That's what I'm saying. They fired Todd Monken already, and Sean McVay was too busy.
All right, and then if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 7 from the left, the bottom row, right in the middle. Yeah, he's got like the light gray khakis on. He looks very tiny.
Is that John Harbaugh?
Is it really? No, John Harbaugh's a big dude, isn't he?
I don't know. I think that might be John Harbaugh. Their faces are all so teeny.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. It might be Harbaugh.
It is. I think that's John Harbaugh. But it's a lot of blue shirts and white men, and they're too in shape. I want my football coaches to be old and bedraggled. And I only have two of them here.
You only have 2 guys in sunglasses too, as opposed to the general managers where more than half had sunglasses on.
Yeah, it's like all they need are fedoras, and it looked like a Blues Brothers impersonator reunion.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy looks very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't give enough space to get him in between the 2 guys. He's behind the one guy in the black T-shirt.
Yeah, step forward. Come on. The photog's got to do all this stuff.
And photog was like, "Sir, on the left there, take a step back. 1 step back. There you go."
So
Monken, they kept sending him back. He ended up back in the building.
So it's Sean Payton's got shorts on.
Yeah,
and the big meat face guy top right's got shorts on.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. It's not Joe Brady, right? Isn't Brady older, or is he?
Okay, it's not Kevin Stefanski. Let's see, Mike LaFleur, Kevin Stefanski, Jesse Minter. I don't know. Maybe it is Joe Brady. Is he a large man? He played, right?
Yeah, I don't.
There's Dave Canales, Jesse Minter. Yeah, Monken's not there. And we know most of these guys. I don't know. Clint Kubiak, it's not him. It's not.
Yeah, Robert Saleh looks like he's getting ready for an MMA fight.
It's not Jeff Halfley. He's a normal-sized person.
Yeah, maybe it is Joe Brady.
It's not Kellen Moore. No, these are mostly normal-looking people. But yeah, I think as these, I don't think anybody looks too out of place in this group.
Except for Kevin O'Connell, who's like in the fetal position, sucking his thumb.
Because he's so excited about his 5 quarterbacks who are all awesome, and everything's going to be fine as long as he keeps telling himself that.
Yeah, everything is awesome.
Yep.
That's all he's singing as he walks around the Vikings facility.
He's fine because of the room. Everything's good in that room. All right. Well, we're already at this point in the season. We're going to blink our eyes, and it's going to be the middle of July, and the full rosters of dudes, and then it's going to be into the exhibition games.
Well,
and then
yeah,
it's going to be
happy
Bears
draft
football
month
again. I know it's draft month.
We're 22 days away from round 1.
Oh, I won rabbit today. Let the record show. I beat everybody in our family group chat. I was the first one on it.
Is that an April Fool's thing, or
no?
Is it?
First day of any month.
First day of the month. Okay.
First day of the month, as long as you're the first person to inject it. So here's what happens in my family, among the 4 of us. If I don't get it first, everybody will, so whoever gets it will brag about it. If I get it first, all 3 other people are like, oh, nobody cares about that anymore. We're not really into that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you're
the only person that cares now.
Yeah.
You're still doing that? You're still doing that? And then if it happens next month and Jason does like, yeah, bang, hold that L, hold my nuts, I got you. Well, which is it? Pick one.
You don't literally then hold his nuts, do you?
I do not. Yar. So no, I'm not. So it's just decide if it matters or not. You can't pretend it matters it doesn't matter when you lose.
So you won today, and then no one acknowledged you.
No, not
and
one.
How are you
person.
feeling about that, Dan? Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the fact that I was up and being productive with my life rather than sleeping in, I get up, I make the bed, I do all those stuff, the little things that make you productive every single day. And I think I set an example as the patriarch of the family. And I get nothing.
Do you make the bed while Beth's still in it?
I've tried before because she's so small, sometimes I don't know. And we have so many pillows that I have I have also before gotten up super quietly very early and tiptoed around in the dark, not realizing she's been up and downstairs for a half an hour.
Oh,
because I mistook a pillow for my wife.
Do you feel like an idiot then?
Oh, I
You
always
get
feel
frustrated with yourself, and you're like,
I always
damn
feel
it,
like
I could have had the lights on.
Exactly.
I could have been walking normal.
and singing to myself.
Yes.
You know, I would have been much happier because I'm not allowed to sing to myself in the house if there are other people around.
You have a lot of rules you have to live by.
Hey, man, it's hard to live with me, I guess. They have to,
Well, this is true.
They also have empowered a committee of people watching replays to then change things after the fact, that they can go in there and call penalties on me.
What time was it that you did the rabbit rabbit thing? What is it?
I did.
What time was it?
I'm checking. I will tell you. I sent that at 6:44.
6:44. Oh, sorry. So no one was up by 6:44.
Nope. Zoe was up because I took
Okay.
her to work today. I sent it at 6:44.
Oh, it was take Zoe to work day?
It's always take Zoe to work day when I'm coming down here. She works right down here. I just drop her off.
Oh, you don't bring her to your work. You
No.
bring her to her work.
Yeah. See how that works? I can go to her own work. Are you looking? You're more of a shoe guy than I am. Are you looking at any of the head coach's shoes?
Yeah, I'm wondering why, like, Sean Payton has like adult-sized toddler shoes on.
And Mike McCarthy is wearing clown shoes. No, just I see a lot of Allbirds, maybe, because that seems to be
It's
sort
like
of
the
thing.
dressy, like the lifestyle sneakers. That's what
Yes.
everyone's wearing, except for Sean Payton.
Yeah, at a certain age, when you move to the slip-ins, like the Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I think who has those? Joe Montana.
Howie Long actually.
Howie Long. He sells.
Howie
those,
Long
that's
sells
right.
the dad shoes,
Yes.
and they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
They're not.
Oh,
they're
that's
not
right.
bad.
Mike McCarthy helped develop Joe Montana.
And his footwear. Yes. Like that's what he's talking about here, in between takes, in between shots. Like, guys, anybody have any quarterbacking questions, you can talk to the guy that made Joe Montana what he is. Speaking of quarterbacks, did you see the news that now that Sean Payton and the Broncos are sniffing around Aaron Rodgers?
No, I didn't see that. Are they really?
Yeah, they're
Why?
worried
You have
about
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix not being ready because of his ankle.
Oh, I thought I read the other day he would be ready.
That's
by
what I thought.
OTAs.
That's what I thought too, but apparently not necessarily the case.
Huh. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers said he would have a decision made before the draft.
Okay. I guess that at least his agent wants it out there that there is another team that might be interested, or it's possible it's all BS and he doesn't have a single offer and it's time for him to go away, which would be great.
Obviously, looking at these coaches, the guys in the front row, we can see their shoes. So if you had to pick a guy in the back row outside of the massive meatball on the right, who's wearing like Air Force Ones or Jordans? Who's your pick?
Ryans.
My pick is Robert Saleh.
I think he's wearing Jordans.
Yeah, man, he looks jacked in this picture.
He is jacked. He's got the giant, trapezius muscles
Jesus,
coming out of
man.
his neck. Yeah.
And then who's right next to him on who's on Saleh's left?
Is that Dan Quinn?
It might be Dan Quinn. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's Dan Quinn to his left.
Yeah.
I think so.
In this small, he looks like a grandpa in this small picture, like a
Well, he's one of the older guys now.
old grandpa. I mean, you could be a young grandpa like myself,
That's
but
true. Yeah, but your doppelganger is Vrabel.
yeah, he's the blue polo front row, brown slip-ons,
Yeah,
no
he's the only-
socks.
He's the only guy who doesn't look like ready to go to the golf course immediately. I'm not sure because he's the only guy. Brown shoes there, brown shoes on the far right. So, hey, man, stay in that picture as long as you can. Nothing's
Yeah, or
promised
if
to
you're
you.
Todd Monken, just don't show up for it.
Todd Monken's too busy.
He wanted no part of this photo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to know what he's doing. I wonder if he is with Deshaun Watson, getting him ready for the season.
I hope he's fishing. I hope he just didn't have time for any of this shit. I'm a head coach in the NFL. I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't have to go hang out with you idiots. Good
All
for
right.
him. He should enjoy it while he can.
What else you got? Anything?
No, I think we're good for today. This is another day we can go by without mock drafting more Bears names as the pro days are occurring. We're getting closer to the expansion of all of these tryout opportunities, all the scouting chances for these guys, and I'm getting some draft tingles. I'm getting excited.
Get excited, man. We're 22 days away from the first round. I think it's the 23rd,
Not
right?
Sherman and tingle. That's different. They're over there.
Oh, if you get the Sherman and tingles, you need to go right to the doctor.
Immediately.
To the ER.
It's a huge problem. And then, they got to give you an antidote for that. There's an anti-venin if you get a case of the Sherman and tingles.
Yeah, well, you need to get isolated first. I think you're in isolation for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's like coming back from the moon. Yeah.
Sherman and tingles.
Yep. They got to keep you away from people.
Now, if you get the tingle and Shermans,
forget it. You're doomed.
You're done.
That's death sentence.
Yes.
All right, we're good. That is Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears and NFL podcast here on 312 Sports.
Forward progress has stopped. 10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abatacola on 312 Sports.